I remember once I got this girl roommate, I thought, how bad could it be? I get to do the Devil's Tango whenever I want, and on top of that, I get to literally have someone to hang out with all the time. Until I realized, when I walked into the bathroom, the amount of hair that was everywhere, and on top of that, I always had to refill the toilet paper. I knew having a girl roommate wasn't the best idea. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another really embarrassing, but I gotta say, more of a life lesson video. Now, this story all starts off, I want to say 4 years ago. So 4 years ago, I just moved out by myself. I'm just doing my own thing, and I actually got a pretty nice apartment. Except this apartment had 2 bedrooms. Now, I never actually used the second bedroom. I always only used one, and the other one was mostly just for storage or extra PC parts or just random things that I just would leave in the room. And I remember one day, my friend ended up coming over, and he said, yo, Bubba, why don't you ever, like, do something with that room? Like, why don't you get, like, a roommate? A roommate? Why would I need a roommate? Well, I don't know, like, just to, like, have around, I guess. Like, don't you get lonely? I mean, not really. I mean, if I really get lonely, I just go live. Like, I don't really get lonely, I guess. Yeah, but Bubba, you're not thinking straight, bro. Like, imagine you were living with someone that you could do everything with. At that moment, I got to thinking, what is the one thing that I enjoy doing most? Was it watching movies? Nope. Was it playing games? Yes, but only solo games, and I like to play by myself on my own setup. So the one thing I enjoy doing most that I realized would be amazing to have a person for always was doing the Devil's Tango. Now, I cannot be the only person who has thought of this. Obviously, you know, couples, they always know of this, but why not get like a girl that's like a friends with benefits, live with you so you could do the Devil's Tango whenever you want. I thought this was a big brain thing, and I thought, you know what, why not? So I ended up looking at my friend and said, yo, I should get a girl roommate. I remember he starts laughing. He's like, bro, like, no girls want to live with a guy. Like, that doesn't make any sense. What do you mean? Like, I'm super organized, I'm clean. Like, once a girl gets to know me, she'll know that, like, I am 100% like, I'm the dude she wants to live with. I remember he looks at me questioning what in the world I was talking about, and then me and him, we decided to get dressed that night to go to a club. And when we got to a club, I remember the words that ended up coming out of my mouth in that apartment ended up coming true. Because when me and my friend were in the club, we were walking around just hanging out and getting drinks, and then out of nowhere, a girl that was like a blonde girl, really attractive person, ends up walking in. She walked in, and she definitely wasn't someone I've ever seen before. I ended up walking up to her and decided to spit some riz and say, how's it going? Me and her, we get into talking with each other, and it got to a point where I started getting drinks for both of us, and she was actually a great person. I'm not gonna lie, we hit it off really, really good. Until later on the night, I remember me and her were talking about like life and such, and I told her who I was, and she told me a bit about her, and she said to me, oh yeah, no, I'm not really actually from like around here. I'm from Ireland, and yeah, I don't know. I'm right now staying with a friend, but I'm trying to find a place to stay and live. Huh, it's funny you say that. Actually, my friend was talking to me about getting a roommate, and I thought, why not like get a girl that's like attractive like you to be my roommate? That's actually crazy that you just said that. At that moment, I saw it in her eyes that she was definitely interested in me, and I saw that, you know what, this girl was actually attracted enough to live with me, which sounds really mean to say, but at the same time, you gotta understand, I was still a player like 4 years ago. But going on with the story, me and this girl, we ended up staying at the club till it fully closed at like 1 a.m. and me and her decided to go back to my place. And when we went back to my place, I remember she was looking around my apartment amazed. She saw the awards on the wall. She started basically looking into like every room and realized that I was actually a pretty clean dude. Hell, even right now, if I showed you guys my apartment, it's basically the same thing. Like, I always keep everything clean. Everything has a certain place for everything. And she really liked that. I remember she looked at me, and well, me and her that night, we did get pretty wasted, so we ended up doing the Devil's Tango. And well, let's just say the next morning when me and her woke up, that's when everything started to happen. We woke up beside each other, and she looks at me and she said, honestly, Bubba, I think I could live here. Like, you have such a nice view, and like, I don't know, you're great and everything. Like, I feel like we could make this happen. And literally that same day, I ended up getting in my car with her. We went to the place that she was staying and picked up all her luggage, and she moved in. I am not even joking. She moved in that exact same day, and I remember it was so funny because literally she looked at me and she said, okay, wait, so is this gonna be like my bedroom? Yeah, the extra room will be yours. Okay, well, I don't think I'm ever gonna actually like be in here, but like if I have stuff, is it cool if I use the closet inside here? Yeah, I'll just move everything else into storage. And that's when she started basically hanging up all her clothes, and she basically put like stuff away in like certain places in the room, which was just an empty room, by the way. There was literally nothing in it other than her suitcases and some clothes that she put in the closet. And from there, it was official. I had a girl roommate. Now you guys are probably wondering, is that the end of the story? Well, no, because things get a lot worse. I remember the first week, it was actually fantastic though. I'm not gonna lie. Me and her, we would do the Devil's Tango every single night. We would watch movies together. We would actually go on dates together. Like, it was like basically living with a girlfriend without the label. But I remember after that week ended, the real truth started to come out from the this girl. Because every morning when I would wake up, I remember I would go into the bathroom and I would go take a shower. It's like my regular routine that I would always do. But when I went inside the shower and turned it on, I realized that the drain was clogged. I was so confused. And I remember as I was looking around the bathroom even more and more, I started to realize that there was so much hair everywhere I looked that it was just disgusting. And by the way, I knew it wasn't my hair because I have black hair and she had blonde hair. So it was very obvious to me that it wasn't my hair whatsoever. So me, I'm just like sweeping the floor, not wearing any clothing just to, you know, basically clean up. But I realized that even when I went into a different room after my shower was over, I realized that there was still a lot of hair on the bed. There was a lot of hair on the kitchen floor. There was hair on the kitchen counter. Like there was legit hair everywhere. I was so confused. And I remember she was sitting on my couch and I looked at her and I said, do you like shed a lot? Excuse me? Shed? What does that mean? Well, like, do you like lose hair a lot? Oh yeah, it's normal for girls. Oh, okay, is what I told her. And then I ended up basically just cleaning up the place. And then I decided to go back to the bathroom. Now, when I went back to the bathroom, I was just gonna brush my teeth and, you know, continue my morning routine. But then I realized we were out of toilet paper. So as I was on the toilet taking a dump, I realized that there was also no toilet paper whatsoever. I was so annoyed and so confused. And I'm like, bruh, I literally just put toilet paper in literally 2 days ago. How is it already gone? Like, how much toilet paper does a girl really need? Now, in this moment, I started to realize that there was a lot more to living with a girl than I thought. Because not only does the bathroom get super messy, on top of that, there's always dishes to clean. There's so much to do. And also, like, the amount of stuff girls need to actually, like, live is insane. But I think what really ticked it off for me and made me realize that living by myself is better than living with a girl is that I remembered that there was a night where I was laying in bed and it was super late at night and I was super tired. But obviously, since I was laying beside a really attractive girl, I got bricked. Okay. And basically, this is going to sound really rude, but you guys gotta understand, it was just me being the ultimate F-boy at the time. I remember I looked over to her and said, hey, like, so you like down to do the Devil's Tango? Oh, I mean, yeah, sure, if you want. Okay, sweet. And I remember right as I, you know, start doing the Devil's Tango with her, I noticed that I had blood all over the bed and I had no idea why because I wasn't bleeding. But then I realized that she was, and yeah. No, she ruined my cool Batman sheets, okay? I drew the line at my Batman sheets, okay? No girl is allowed to ruin it. So yeah, I ended up basically telling her that it probably wasn't the best idea to become roommates. And by the way, if you guys are wondering, no, she did not pay any rent whatsoever. She didn't give me even a dime. The main reason why she lived with me, well, I guess to literally just do the Devil's Tango and just be someone to hang out with, which to be honest, I could do any day. And also, I also noticed that I really like my privacy. And when I looked at my friend's roommate, she looked at me saying, Bubba, come to my room. And I knew I was in big trouble. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba and welcome back to a super embarrassing, but I gotta say crazy story. So this story takes place after high school, after my grade 12 year. I was actually 19 around this time, and I remember being 19, I really did not know what I was doing because I didn't enroll in college, I didn't do university. In reality, I did not know what my future really held for me. But thanks to you guys following the channel, honestly, you guys actually changed my life. But before this, when I was 19, I remember I had this one friend of mine that was really, well, how do I put this? Awkward. Because I remember after high school, me and him, we never really connected with anyone at all. So basically, when we saw each other one time at the mall, we ended up walking up to each other and seeing how life was going. It's actually really cool after high school when you meet up with someone again or see someone that you went to high school with, because it's a different experience since you guys are in, well, a harder place, and that's figuring out your future. But I remember I walked up to him and said, hey, yo, didn't you go to my school? Oh, yeah. What's up, Bubba? Good to see you, bro. Yeah. So what's up with you? Oh, nothing, you know, just going to school for fashion, you know, just figuring out my stuff. Oh, okay. I didn't know you liked fashion. Now, you guys are probably wondering why I was really awkwarded out and asking weird questions that really made no sense. And that's because this guy started to act more zesty than what he used to back when we were in school. Until I realized one thing led to another, he actually ended up coming out as gay after high school. Now, obviously, this was my first time seeing his gay side come out, I guess. And obviously, I wanted to respect it. So I remember I was just being nice to him and interacting with him. And me and him, we started talking about the future and stuff and, you know, how he has a plan to become a fashion designer and all this cool stuff. And when he asked me about my future, well, I ended up just standing there frozen, not knowing what to say. I remember he looks at me saying, oh, it's okay, Bubba. Don't worry. Not everyone figures out their future. Yeah, I guess. I don't know, is what I told him afterwards. And I remember one thing led to another. He actually ended up giving me his number. And no, not in that way. Just giving me his number as a friend. Now, I remember after that whole conversation, I ended up walking through the mall, going straight to, a technology store and just buying some tech that I wanted just because why not? Because obviously at the time I was still building my dream gaming setup and everything. And then out of nowhere, I remember one thing led to another. I ended up getting a text message. I got a text message from him saying, hey, actually, I was just wondering, tonight I'm having kind of a friend gathering from people from high school. Do you want to come? At that moment, I didn't really know what to say. I was thinking yes, no, maybe. But at the same time, I ended up texting him back saying, wait, so is it at your parents' place? Oh, no, I moved out a long time ago. I live with my roommate. She's totally chill. Don't worry. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll come over. And one thing led to another. He sent me the address, and well, later on that night, I ended up going over. I remember I ended up driving my car there, parked my car across the street from his building, and I got out of my vehicle and started heading inside. And when I got there, I remember I ended up seeing someone else at the front door of the building smoking. And it was actually an old friend of mine from high school. Well, friend, not actually a friend, but we knew each other. I remember I walked up to him and shook his hand. I'm like, hey, how's it going? It's been a minute. Oh, it's good, bro. Good to see you, man. So you coming upstairs? Yeah, I don't know. I ran into him and I thought, why not hang out with him again, I guess. Yeah, no, apparently a lot of people are going to this thing. Bro, wait, did you ever meet his roommate? No. Why? Is his roommate cool or something? Oh, bro, you're in for a treat. I remember me and him, we ended up entering the building together so he could show me where to go. And when we walked through the doors, I remember I ended up seeing a lot of people there that were from my high school. Now, obviously, it was super awkward to see a lot of them, and to be honest, not a lot of them liked me, since chances were that I did the Devil's Tango with their friend. But one thing led to another. I remember I ended up getting some pretty, evil eyes pointed at me, but not only that, I ended up seeing one girl that was at the gathering. Now, this girl, I did not recognize whatsoever, but I remember I looked at her, and I'm like, whoa, this girl is a 10 out of 10. And then I remember my friend that came up to me that was gay ended up coming up behind me, putting his hand on my shoulder and saying, oh, I see you met my roommate. Yeah, she's super cool. Yeah, cool roommate, bro. You guys just share this place? Yeah, she's super neat. You should go meet her. And one thing led to another. I ended up walking up with him to this girl and he introduced me. I remember when I met this girl, I couldn't stop staring at her cherries because I'm not gonna lie, they were popping out of that dress of whatever she was wearing. And one thing led to another. Every time this woman spoke to me, I really did not understand anything she was saying because I was just way too distracted. But obviously, I think this chick knew that I was definitely distracted and she kept basically running her mouth about something about, I guess school and stuff and how it's cool that, we're all gathering together and we should do this more. And when I heard hang out more, at that point, I remember I looked up at her, looking her right in the eyes and saying, oh yeah, I'm down to hang out if you want. I remember she looks confused at me and she says, oh, wait, you mean me and you? I mean, yeah, why not? Do you not want to hang out more? I mean, I just met you. Yeah, I know, but what? We all went to the same high school. If I ended up being a bad guy, why would I be here? That's true. My roommate really does have good taste in boys. Right. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. I remember at that point, me and her just started laughing. We ended up hanging out more and one thing led to another. I'm not gonna lie to you. We ended up exchanging social media accounts. But right as things were getting really good, I gotta say, obviously, all good things must come to an end. Because out of nowhere, I remember halfway through the party, I ended up just, walking around and stuff and hanging out with friends. And then out of nowhere, I ended up seeing that one of the girls started talking to the chick that I just got her number off of. I remember I saw that she was pointing me out and stuff and I guess, telling her something that was about me. And I got really worried and confused because obviously I didn't want this girl have a bad taste in her mouth all because she heard something from someone else. For some reason, all girls like to talk smack about guys that have a bad history, even though I did not know that chick at all as well. But going on with the story, I remember when I saw this, I was really confused and stuff. So I kind of just ended up letting it go and just, basically tried to ignore it. And after the whole event happened, I remember I ended up going home and I decided to shoot this girl a text message about, when we should hang out next. I remember I texted her and she ended up replying back instantly saying, oh, actually, do you want to maybe go to a cafe tomorrow? Yeah, sure. Which cafe? Oh, the one just downstairs from my building. I'll meet you there at what, 4:30? Yeah, sure, I'll make it. And that's when we made a plan to see each other. Now, obviously, since I was 19, I was really excited to actually go on a date instead of just have a girl come over and just do the Devil's Tango. But then I remember the next day when I actually went to this cafe, I saw her sitting there by herself and I walked in and basically met up with her. I remember she ended up looking at me and she said, oh, Bubba, I was wondering, can we talk about something real quick? Yeah, what's up? Me and her, we sat down at the booth and I remember she ended up explaining something to me that actually kind of blew my mind. But she said, so your friend, I guess last night, I don't know if you know that chick that was talking to me. I don't know her, but I've seen her. Wait, what about her? Well, she told me that you did a lot of the Devil's Tango throughout high school. Is that true? I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I was like a major player, but I'm considering retirement. Did you just say retirement? Are you serious? Yeah, you know, I'm kind of tired of being a player. When I said that, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was totally lying, by the way. There was no way I was just gonna, you know, go into retirement or give it all up, because obviously, like, I wanted to have fun throughout my 20s, and I still do. I remember when I said that, though, she ended up having a smile turn into kind of like a curious and questioning face, because she ended up saying, wait, so are you not like looking for like, you know, friends with benefits? Well, I mean, like, I'm never not down for friends with benefits. Okay, well, let's go upstairs and see what you can do. I remember I was confused because the cafe only had one floor, but when she meant upstairs, I started to realize that she actually meant her apartment. Now, I remember at this moment, I was really worried because I didn't want her roommate to see me there with her, but obviously I did not know what to do. So as me and her were walking up to her apartment, I remember I looked at her and said, I have a question. Is your roommate there? Because I don't want to make things weird between me and him. Like, we just reconnected. Oh, I don't think he's up there. I'm not sure. You know what? Here, stay out here. I'll quickly go check. I remember she went upstairs and checked if her roommate was there, and apparently he wasn't, since I got a message literally 2 seconds later saying that he was gone. At that point, I remember I went upstairs with her, and me and her, we chilled in the living room for a bit and started talking about life and, you know, who I was really in high school, and basically told her some of the stories that I tell on this channel nowadays. And one thing led to another. I remember as me and her were about to get up and just go to her bedroom, out of nowhere, I ended up seeing her roommate walk in with one of my homies from back in high school, and they were making out. Now, I've never seen guy on guy action before in my life right in front of me until this day. And I remember I looked at the guy that he brought home and I was like, wait a minute, he's gay? At this moment, it was a really awkward situation because obviously I guess he didn't want his secret going out that he was gay, and obviously I wanted to respect that. So me, I kept it low key as long as he kept me and his roommate low key. And at that moment, after that whole awkward interaction, I remember I ended up seeing the girl that was there, and she told me to basically like go into her room. And well, when I went into her room, I bet you guys know what happened. Me and her, we ended up doing the Devil's Tango. And I'm not gonna lie, it was one of the most awkward experiences I ever experienced, because let's just say we weren't the only ones doing the Devil's Tango in that apartment. I know it sounds crazy to say, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, so today's story is kind of a weird one, and I gotta say, this was totally by mistake. Well, kinda. But today's story does get insane, so before we get into it, make sure you guys press that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But not to mention, I'm also live on Kick streaming, telling crazy stories just like this one to you guys, except live. So it's also 10 times more embarrassing, and you guys get to ask questions along the story. But other than that, let's just jump straight into this super embarrassing story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to a really embarrassing story time. So today's story all takes place back in my high school years, and this was my grade 10 year of high school. Now in grade 10, I had a really close friend of mine that I grew up with, and one of the things I kept forgetting was about how he had a sister, but honestly, it just never crossed my mind throughout middle school. But then high school came around, and I remember one time in high school, I was walking with my friend through the cafeteria at our lunchtime, and we were just talking about how much school's gone, well, worst over the years, and how school is just never gonna end, even though I'm now 22 and it's over. But still, we just talked about how much we hated school. It was the one passion we had. And I remember one time when we were sitting down, my friend was inviting me to a sleepover that he was gonna have with just some buddies, and I told him I was down for it and stuff. But then afterwards, out of nowhere, I remembered there was a girl that walked by the cafeteria with her group of friends. I remember I was staring at one of the girls, and she looked honestly amazing. She was like blonde, she was hot, and to be honest, I did not recognize her. And then out of nowhere, I remember my buddy turns his head to look at the girls as well, because we both like girls, because well, we're guys, like why wouldn't we like girls? And then he told me, bro, that chick's kind of hot. Yeah, the blonde one, I know, dude. I think she was looking at me. I remember my friend instantly turns his head and he's like, wait, bro, what? The blonde one? Dude, that's my sister. I remember I started laughing. I'm like, yeah, right. And then afterwards, one thing led to another. I actually started realizing that it was actually a sister that was in grade 9. If you guys don't know, our school system's a lot more different than other places around the world, because we have elementary school, then we have middle school, and then we have high school. And well, apparently his sister just ended up coming into high school, and it was her grade 9 year. Now, obviously at this time I was in grade 10, so I didn't think anything weird. I was like, oh, okay, my bad. I didn't know it was your sister, bro. Like, I just thought she was hot. And well, my friend kind of found it bizarre, but at the same time, since he already invited me to the sleepover, it was like, you know what, whatever. He knows I wasn't gonna try anything, even though I'm literally known for doing the Devil's Tango throughout high school, but he kind of just put his trust in me, and well, I wasn't gonna lose that until, well, the sleepover came around. I remember the next day of school, it was a Thursday, and I remember going into school, I didn't really talk to my buddy after that really awkward interaction, and to be honest, I was more just excited to be going to a sleepover this weekend, other than staying home doing absolutely nothing with my parents. When I was walking down the hallway to my locker, out of nowhere, this blonde girl that was his sister ends up bumping into me. She bumps into me and says, oh, sorry, my bad, Bubba, I didn't see you there. Oh, it's all good, I understand. And I went down to go pick up her books for her. And when me and her were on the ground picking up the books, I remember me and her, we ended up locking eyes out of nowhere. We locked eyes and I'm like, oh, here. Oh, it's all good. Also, are you going to my brother's sleepover this weekend? Yeah, the one tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to it. Why? What's up? Oh, nothing. It's just kind of cool. I haven't seen you in a long time, since middle school. Anyways, I gotta get going. And then she ends up running to her group of friends and they all start giggling out of nowhere. At that point, I wasn't really sure what was going on, but obviously something weird was going on. I kind of just ended up trying to put this in the back of my head thinking, you know what? It's a no-no. Don't go for her. Don't ask for her Snapchat. Nothing. Just be cool and play it cool. And that's what I did. And now this is where the story gets really weird because I remember the next day happened and it was the day of the sleepover. All my friends were excited. We were all talking about it over the Xbox party before we ended up heading to his house. And when we got to his house, I remember when I knocked on the door, I expected my friend to open the door, but it ended up being his sister. His sister ends up opening the door and saying, oh, hey, Bubba, I forgot you were coming. Yeah, no, it's cool. Where's everybody? Oh, all the guys are upstairs. Oh, okay, cool. I'm just gonna head up there and say hi to everyone. I ended up going upstairs and stuff, and all the guys were upstairs basically getting ready to set their place at the sleepover. Because the first thing we do as guys when we go to a sleepover is make sure that we're not sleeping right against each other because we're not gay, we're not sus, and we're normal guys that don't want to sleep next to each other. And basically, once we got the sleeping situation sorted out, we all ended up going downstairs and playing video games again. We were just playing video games. I know, no surprise, we could have done that when we were home online, but I don't know, it's a different feel when you're actually playing in the same house, or at least it did back then. Nowadays it's just purely boring. Going on from there, I remember all my friends were sitting down on the couch playing Call of Duty, and we were all playing this, you know, quick scoping, trick shotting, and basically doing the main Call of Duty things that we used to do all the time back then, before Call of Duty was absolutely ruined and destroyed by, well, game developers. But going on, I remember when we were sitting down on the couch, it got really boring because my buddy only had 2 controllers, and I remember I didn't really know what else to do, so I decided to just go to the bathroom real quick and sit down and watch a game theory video because MatPat dropped a new one. And speaking about game theory, I just want to mention that recently I heard about what happened to MatPat and, you know, how he's leaving the channel, and I just want to say, bro, thank you so much for changing my life because your videos I still watch to this day ever since I was a kid. So thank you so much, bro. I literally grew up watching you and you changed my life. But going back to the story, I remember as I was sitting down the toilet watching a game theory video, out of nowhere I ended up hearing a knock on the door. I ended up saying occupied. Right as, like, I guess the person heard my voice, they ended up coming into the bathroom because I forgot to lock the bathroom door for some reason. And out of nowhere, it was his sister that walked in. I looked at her and I said, what are you doing? Like, I'm literally on the toilet. It's all good. This is the only time we get privacy. Where are you sleeping tonight? I'm sleeping in the hallway. Why? What's up? Oh, well, like, is anyone gonna be near you? No, because I'm not gay. As she was literally watching me sit on the toilet watching a game theory video. And then afterwards, she ended up telling me something really insane where she said, okay, well, like, come into my room after. After what? After when everyone's sleeping, duh. And then she ends up leaving the room, and out of nowhere, I remember 5 minutes later, I ended up getting out of the bathroom and thinking, what in the world is going on? Because at this point, I was really just weirded out. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to do. And to be honest, things were just not going my way. I remember it became really late at night, and it was around, like, I want to say, like, I don't know, 10:30 at night, and all the guys were getting ready, laying down and just basically going on their phones until everyone eventually passed out at 12. And when 12 came around, I remember I got up and I ended up basically going towards his sister's bedroom. When I went in there, I remember she was wide awake, just on her laptop, just chilling and just, I don't know, going through YouTube watching Trisha Paytas because, I don't know, I guess she was a Trisha Paytas fan. And out of nowhere, I remember I looked at her and said, yo, like, what do you need? Like, I'm about to go to bed. Oh, come here. You can sleep beside me. I don't think that's a good idea. No, it's chill. Don't worry. My brother's asleep and you'll wake up early and you'll just go back to your sleeping spot. I mean, sure, I guess I can't deny a bed. When I went and laid down, one thing led to another. We ended up watching a movie together, and well, me thinking this was gonna go nowhere, well, I guess my instincts got the best of me because one thing led to another. She ended up leaning into me and we ended up making out, and well, that ended up leading towards doing the devil's tango. Obviously, me and her were making a decent amount of noise, and out of nowhere, I remember one of my buddies ended up waking up and actually hearing through the door that something was going on. And at that moment, this buddy of mine decided to go up to my homie that was hosting the sleepover, and he literally said to him, yo, bro, I think someone's like at your house with your sister, bro. Like, did your sister invite someone over? At this moment, my buddy instantly knew what was going on and decided to barge into the room as my eggplant was like inside her. And well, yeah, I'm gonna say this, bro, walking in to your sister doing the devil's tango with one of your homies is never a good thing. At that moment, the parents woke up, everyone decided to wake up, and well, I ended up getting kicked out of the house, which is no surprise. I would have done the same thing as well, and I ended up having to walk home super late at night at like literally I want to say like 2:30 at night. And yeah, when I got home that night, my parents were really upset that I was alone at night, but they didn't really know why I was alone at night that night. And yeah, let's just say I got in serious trouble later on, but hey, what can I say? His sister wanted it. Anyways, guys, that is basically it for today's embarrassing story. Make sure you guys press that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. And like I always say, just follow for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys.